Thank you again for joining us here at the 2018 Twin Cities Film Fest on the red carpet brought to you by Skin Rejuvenation Clinic. I am Miss Shannon, and we are moving into tonight's feature documentary, the film Chef Flynn, which talks about a young celebrity chef. So of course we had to have our favorite local celebrity chef, Andrew Zimmern, and I shouldn't call you local because you are international and worldwide, Andrew.
Well, thank you. That's flattering. I'm just glad to be here. It's going to be an exciting night. I can't wait to see the film.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of things about Chef Flynn, I think you will be able to give us a great perspective on, because with your food show and when you have done your process of coming up with new dishes and opening new restaurants, to tell the story about Chef Flynn, it really is quite an amazing story. And you know the young man, right?
Well, I've met him before. To me, it's absolutely fascinating, simply because, here's a young chef, just opened his first restaurant in New York City, his own, who opened basically a pop-up supper club in his parents' house when he was 10 years old. And that was only like 11, 12 years ago,
right.
Something like that. Now, if you do the math, right, the iPhone is 11 years old.
Right.
Right? Social media, it's all the things that have contributed to this young generation of people who've grown up around food. I call it the Food Network generation.
Right.
Food Network just celebrated 25 years.
Okay.
So you have a 10-year-old kid who was exposed to seeing all kinds of stuff in the early days online, because there's a lot more now.
Right.
10, 12 years ago, a lot less. But you had television, you had magazines. I was actually making television shows when he was 10 years old. So this young man was exposed to this entire world of ideas, had very much a natural talent. You don't get to where he is without having a natural talent. But then to have a young person who's so dialed in on a dream, to activate that, I think just on its own is a wonderful lesson for young people. If you want to be something and you're 10 years old, be it. My son is 13, wants to be an intergalactic space policeman.
Right.
I'm like, dude, go for it, It's such powerful messaging for young people. I also think the fact that it's about food, I think, is even more important. This is the most powerful cultural totem that we have in the universe. It's the one thing that people all around the world participate in every day. And yes, we do have people who are food insecure.
Right.
That's criminal. It's no longer shameful. Some of us are working very hard to change that. But food is something that it lives in and through us. It's in our DNA. So to tell this story about dreams, about goals, that is going to, I think it's going to really resonate with people who aren't food or food adjacent, but for those who are, and that is the vast majority of us, I think it's going to be really exciting to see how this young man moved from the pop-up supper club to working in great restaurants with great chefs, some of whom I've had the chance to work with, one in particular for several years, and then to open up his own restaurant. I think it's a very, very exciting thing. And let's also remember, the Twin Cities, Film Fest, it's such an important part of what goes on here in our world.
Right.
But there's film festivals like this everywhere, and they're promoting a type of movie and showcasing a type of film that 15 years ago you'd have to watch it on public television or be lucky enough to attend a film fest. There wasn't even distribution in movie theaters nationally for films that told great stories and made you think. And now we have so much space out there for people to see these movies. We have so many premium channels that are now promoting, and documentary filmmaking is now exploding. The equipment, the cost of making them for young people out there who want to do their own thing, it's like grab a iPhone and a laptop and you're a filmmaker today. That's an incredible thing.
And I really appreciated the fact that you brought up the reasoning behind supporting a young person when they are trying to follow their dream. As you mentioned, you have a kid, I have a kid, but part of the controversy with the Chef Flynn thing is looking at his parents and going, why are you supporting this dream, and their decision to not douse his fire?
Why is it okay for a 10-year-old who plays baseball in their grade school and in summer leagues to be supported by their parents, but a young kid that wants to get into blowing stuff up or playing games with dolls or cooking food or whatever their dream is should also be supported? we have this cultural mythology in our country that has been with us since the days we first put a cowboy on a horse and said, this is the vision of what America is. It's not the vision of what America is. That's the vision of what 30 years of American history were, and it wasn't even a fair and accurate representation. I think supporting all choices that young people make creates a healthier class of young people. I just think it's that simple.
And I can understand him growing up
Thank
in
you.
society. Yes,
Applause.
we do have some applause here outside the Twin Cities Film Fest before we go in. And Andrew, as you mentioned, we know that you are working on opening a restaurant right now. We appreciate everything you do, but being, as you mentioned, you've been in this industry for so long that he could grow up watching your show, because this industry is one of the most televised industries. If you look at things that food shows do.
It's really exploded. I mean, you go from the days of, Julia and Jacques and Graham Kerr and, all those wonderful people that came before us who were talking heads behind cutting boards.
Right.
And they laid the groundwork for the Food Network generation to come in. And then there, I guess a new class of television food personality developed. People who are more global culture correspondents,
right,
who are telling really important stories, mini documentaries through food. The shows that Tony made, the shows that I make. The people ask me what I do for a living, and I say I make docu-follow reality television about culture stories, and I do it through food. I explore culture through food. Now, I've been lucky enough to be on television for, starting with special, maybe 14 years, 13 years with series, linear series. So, there's a whole bunch of young people that watched Tony's show, my show, Alton Brown's show, and countless others, things that I think are really smart shows, that are really inspirational, all with a different point of view, all with their own set of fans, a lot of, crossover of fans, but all with a different point of view. And I'm really excited to see over the next 10 years what happens when those young people enter the workforce. The people who've been watching my show not all of them take the direct, point A to point B approach that Flynn did. But to see how people come into our food world and help to solve some of our food adjacent global problems having to do with, climate and soil erosion and water and hunger and, health and well-being when it comes to food. You are what you eat.
Right.
And I think it's going to be a really exciting time to sort of take that pulse as we move through the next decade.
Well, Andrew, I know that your schedule is incredibly busy, and I don't know how you have time to do this, but we know we are here and very fortunate to be part of the family here at the Shops at West End in St. Louis Park, and you are going to be part of this family soon, opening your new restaurant, right?
As luck would have it, thank you very much. I'm not much of a person for the plug, but I appreciate it.
But I am.
Two doors down, in a couple of weeks we're opening Lucky Cricket, a Chinese restaurant and tiki bar that I've been developing for a long time with my partners, Michael McDermott and Jason Merritt. We're really, really, really excited about it. It's funny that you talk about that, because I'm as excited about that as I am about my kids' grade level reader book that comes out in February, available for pre-order on Amazon. I will plug that, because that's about learning for kids.
Oh, you have to send me that. I will be happy to read that at my son's school.
We have, we've got a lot of great TV that we're making at my production company, Intuitive Content, and we're getting into documentary filmmaking. So it's an exciting time to be telling stories, and I always think of myself as a storyteller, whether it's through a plate of noodles, at Lucky Cricket, the book that, people can actually buy and read, or TV shows or documentaries that I make that we can, people can actually turn on the tube and watch. I think storytelling is our most valued way of sharing information. We've been doing it since, human beings first sat around fires feeling safe enough at night to actually share something other than stories of emergencies. And it's a wonderful time to be, making movies and creating content in the United States. Now is the time to be doing it.
Well, Andrew, thank you for joining us here at the Twin Cities Film Fest. Congratulations on your new restaurant, and we look forward to sharing Chef Flynn with you when we go inside.
Can't wait. I need a big bucket of popcorn.
Don't worry, we got it here at the Showplace Icon Theaters.